The lunar eclipse in Scorpio. What is it about the lunar eclipse that's going to be so prominent and permeate for the collective? The lunar eclipse is one of those phenomenons that imagine like seeing it for the first time. You just look up at the sky and either the whole entire place seems to just not just turn off, right? All the lights are just off, or vice versa. You're in one of those situations to where you end up looking at the sky and the whole moon is just completely blood red. You're like, what's going on? What's happening, right? I'm sure for the people that first did it, and I'm sure the people that first had to experience that, they were bugging out. And I'm going to be explaining more in the lunar eclipse, but I do want to really get down to the core of this energy. So there's a full moon in Scorpio. That's what this is. And the reason why it's an eclipse is because this full moon is going to be coinciding with the North Node and the South Node, right? The North Node is right now over in Taurus and it's about to shift into Aries. As a matter of fact, the last solar eclipse that we had that was in Aries ended up shifting a lot of our mindsets moving forward. Solar eclipses affect the ego, whereas lunar eclipses are tapping into your emotions or tapping into the soul, right? Much love for everybody in the live chat right now. I see you. Appreciate you all for being here, but I do just want to focus for a quick minute and I want to make sure that I'm getting the message across on this, right? When it comes to people's transformation, I think a lot of the times people get scared. I think many of the times people are scared of change. They are scared of adjustments and things that as I adjust something, but they are scared of adjustments or they're scared to tap into what they truly love. And I think a lot of the times the reason why people are so hesitant on doing the things that they really love is because it's the fear of not being able to tap into that place. We see different artists, we see people on screens and they're doing all these things that are so amazing, they're incredible, and we're like, man, if only we, if only we, if only we. And the case is, at the end of the day, that's a person just like you or I, most of the time, for all we know. But the idea is, right, the concept of it is that the difference between you and, let's say, something that you idolize, there's a reason why you idolize the things that you do. There's a reason why you're gravitating towards the energies and the people that you are. And most of the time it's because since we're all part of the universe and we're all aspects of it, you're seeing a part of you that you are resonating. You're seeing a part of this larger scale that you're directly needing to come in contact with. And a lot of the times when people are looking so much outside for this, they're looking so much outside for that. And this lunar eclipse in Scorpio is trying to remind you exactly what your core is. It's trying to remind you exactly what your soul is seeking. The ego is already kind of getting its different the ego is getting its different like makeover right now. And with the Mercury retrograde eclipse, the Mercury retrograde also going on, is making sure that you really do slow down. And the idea of Mercury retrograde is that when time starts to slow down, for us, it seems like things are going backwards, which I think is so funny. Say that one more time. When we notice things are slowing down, we're so fast paced as a society that we think things are going backwards. And what's really happening is that time isn't linear. So it's never necessarily been linear. We're all kind of here to experience how that goes. And the closest thing to time being linear is literally astrology. Because at least you can track the cycles, you can track the things that are being moved, such as your birth. And as a matter of fact, I think eclipse season is an excellent time to get a birth chart reading, and I am doing those right now. I have a few people that have been really interested in my astrology transformation package, so I'm going to explain that just really quick. So I have the highest priced one, which is specifically the astrology transformation package, and it's for 888. And if you wanted a personal astrologer, if you wanted to like really fully develop and know what's going on in your energy, if you wanted to have that mentorship on how am I moving throughout my life, I've set it out so that we have 4 sessions that are an hour long. I go over your whole birth chart. I will literally help you with the astrology. I help you with like literally everything. And if you end up getting it during this weekend, my promotional is that if you end up getting it before May 1st, is that I will literally throw in my full birth chart in for free. And then you still get 4 weeks of us having those hour sessions with one another. And that's when I would talk about astrology. I'll pull the tarot. Like, I really want to make sure that the people that invest in me get the literal best and get to transform their lives into what makes them happy. Because at the end of the day, that's something that I think I'm doing right now. I love astrology, and I have a background in marketing, media type things. So for me, this is something that I think I can really help and benefit people with. So if you have gotten a birth chart before and you're just looking to change something, I suggest that. And I have smaller increment readings as well. And if you want something that's simple, have my North Node ebook. And the North Node is how the eclipse are affecting. It covers for 2 months. Yes, it does. And think of it, it covers for 2 months. And in between those 2 months, I end up giving you different materials as well. So you get all the ebooks I put out, etc. Honestly, it's a crazy dope deal. I'm not going to lie. And I just really want to make sure that I take care of the people that do end up investing in that. But yes, it is going to be covering for 2 months time frame for that specifically. And I usher you into the new things that I'm going to be putting out. With that being said, I am slowly and realizing during this retrograde and this solar eclipse is that I miss going live and getting to see everyone's face. I miss going live. Can you buy it now and start it later? Yes, you can. Literally just so if you end up buying that package, you can click on it and then you can put whatever date you want your first session with me to be, and whatever date your first session for me to be is when we can start, and then we schedule that out at the end of that hour. Literally after the hour, we end up scheduling out the next one, and then we figure out the rest from there, just to let you know. So if you do and you are interested, you can literally set it out for like literally next month if you want to. So it's not like a rush, like it has to be now, but if you do it this weekend, that's where the deal applies. So thank you for the ask, and there's a clarification. So, and I think even you can hear it like in how I'm speaking, there's a certain energy that's like fully about the transformation. I know for me during this eclipse season, I'm relearning astrology. So a lot of people don't know. I'm like every year there's a time frame where I just like go full student mode. And when I'm in full student mode, I just relearn all the core components again. I relearn like what else is going on. I just finished the second class of Deborah Silverman's Astrology. I highly recommend that y'all hop in for that for the fall when they reopen up their semester, because holy, oh my God, I've never seen astrology move that way. It's to the point where I understand that it's explained so well that if you just choose to not understand astrology, it's because you're just choosing not to. Like it's so practical, it's ridiculous. And I strive to also maintain that practicality and bringing down the astrology to earth. Because as much as people talk about it being like, it's in the stars, I'm a celestial being, I'm a starseed, woo, like all of that, despite all of that, like genuinely speaking, astrology is a science of the earth and how the energies move. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on right now. You forgot to ask that earlier? No worries at all. No, this is what I'm saying. Like we really here, it's really about this. And shout out to you, much love to you. I still gotta hit the homie back. Regardless, before I get sidetracked, let's get a little bit deeper into this lunar eclipse in Scorpio again. So let's start. The lunar eclipse in Scorpio is a water sign. Or Scorpio is a water sign. As we can see, the retrograde is retrograde. But Mercury is a water sign, right? Or Mercury, see what I'm saying, bro? I'm telling you, this is crazy. The lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign. 30 times the charm. And Scorpio being fixed water is a powerful, like those real feelings that you get that you can't necessarily move out of. It's like when people get into moods or funks, but on the other side of things, you know, when you get so confident in those moments where you're like, yo, no, you want to know what? I got this. And you feel the transmutation, and you're like, I feel like I made a change here. I feel like I really challenged myself, and I can, like all of that. That right there specifically is for that Scorpio energy. It's diving into the depths of what you feel in order to bring out that passion, in order to bring out that truth and sincerity. And all Scorpio seeks out is the truth. So what is this lunar eclipse about? The deepest of your desires. And the idea of getting into the deepest of your desires is that you can really end up making magic. And that's what this is all about. Making magic in real time in the world. There's so many, like, you know, for example, I personally have worked with a lot of the AI tools in the last probably 6 months, I'd say. And I've definitely experimented with them and seeing how they were and seeing what it was about, because we're in the age of Aquarius. You're going to need to know some tech stuff, period. I don't care who you are, what you think. People are like, oh, I don't need to use this at all. I'm too good for this. It's like, bro, like you really, really do need to like tap into what else is going on. And you know, with the AI tools, like use ChatGPT, for example, like part of this description and in full sincerity and clarity, I use ChatGPT for, and it's not for anything even crazy. It's like, I hate putting emojis after things. I have a Mercury and Capricorn. Me putting emojis after stuff is like so unnatural to me. I promise you. The reason why a lot of people are like, oh, you know, like why do you send voice messages? I'm like, because my tone and how I say certain things and how that ends up popping up will sound so different than what I mean, depending on how I do. Because if I'm just typing it, it's so deadpan, and I'm like, nah, like I don't want people to get like, you know, taken aback by that. But that's part of me knowing my personality. That's me. And why do I know that part of my personality? Why do I know that part of my energy? Because it's in the astrology. It is literally right where it's at. Like, you know what I mean? And it's so funny to be able to kind of help administer and also show people what their strength is and what their power is, right? Regardless, the reason why the whole idea of the AI part is like so interesting is because AI can technically write songs. It can write songs, it could do poetry, it can literally do damn near whatever you throw at it. And one thing that I've noticed across the board in using those tools, I'm very specific about how I go about it. And I like to make sure that the core element of what I'm saying stays, right? But for people that generate new things from it, one thing that I realize, and even in the more advanced ones, is that it can give a lot of information. It's very factual. It's very, here's this. And you can play with the tone and you can make it sound like this, but there's a certain human element that it doesn't have. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that's its own communication at the end of the day. But I do think that part of the power behind the human condition is the feeling, is the is the emotion behind it. And you can replicate those things and you can make it sound like that, but you feel the difference. You can definitely feel the difference. It's like in between this like singing, and this is my audio head popping in, and like speaking through a mic that's like and then going through something that's like $3,000. Things could be subtle, but they have heart to them, right? And once more, what's the heart? What's this all for? It's to chase your desires. What's up, Anton? How you doing? But it's like, it's about chasing your desires. It's about going after that. And the lunar eclipse is opening up people on a soul level, not a soul level. Let me take that back. The lunar eclipse is shaking people up on an emotional level for you to tap into the need to transform where you need to. And that's kind of the premise of the lunar eclipse, right? I'm about to open up the astrology. I was recently kind of told that sometimes not showing the actual chart itself ends up doing that. But to be really honest with y'all, I think I'm going to end up doing a one-on-one. I'm going to have an eclipse class, I think, to be honest. So part of the reason why I want to do this YouTube early was to make sure that the people that got used to me obviously posting and going live still gets to get their information. But I think moving forward, I'm going to move it over to a class. It's not going to be expensive. It's going to be like $11 for the new moon, full moon type deal. I still want to make it accessible, but I definitely think that's just an easier way for us all to get together and be like in a direct contact, because there's 10 people watching right now. But if we were all in the same Zoom class, like we chilling, you get what I'm saying? So that's kind of the idea that I want to bring behind here. And I genuinely, just to let y'all know since y'all here, I genuinely, and this is all part of the eclipse for me, right? So follow this. And I think everyone else is having this. And I don't like to get off into tangents without explaining why I'm doing it. But like, you know, oh, but this thing has been off this whole time. Bro, that's trash. Are you serious? One sec. Man, I thought this was all the way up. Man, y'all got, no, don't do that. Hold up. That's not right. Okay, that's better. Man, I'm all thinking this was all perfectly cropped and everything. Regardless, back to it though. When it comes to this lunar eclipse time frame, actually, what did I write down? I wrote down tap into the water. And it's, emotions are so hard to navigate, especially when we live in a world where every day you wake up and look at your phone. And by the time you look at your phone, it's like, oh, look at all this. Like literally like the news will pop up. The news will pop up and it'll be like, everything's bad. Like if you have the notifications on for news in the morning, it's just like, what BS is on there, right? Still looked good. I feel you. I'm just a perfectionist. I ain't gonna lie. But perfectionist without being idle. That is the goal here. But regardless, hi everybody. Hey people. What's up, y'all? Make sure y'all hit that like button. This is we're going to classes. Screw this. I'm announcing this now. In the terms of like the eclipse and everything else, I'm just going, like, I used to do classes every week. For people who don't know, because I took a minute in real life because I had to make sure that this is honestly what I wanted to do. And it was a tough, like, 6-month transition to where I was like, man, maybe I should just live a regular life and just do regular stuff. And I promise you, every freaking time I try to do something different, it led me right back to doing this. I promise you. It was like, man, maybe I should just go do that. I should do that instead. And it was like, no, you need to do this today. Like, you need to do this now. The people need you. And I'm like, I bet I'm here. What's up? Right? Because like, it's so easy to get just caught up in the rat race, to get caught up in the vibes of, hey, this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing, this is what we have to do, this is what we don't have to do. But then it's all about the soul. As the eclipse is about to change over soon. Sorry, the North Node is about to change over soon. If you don't know what the North Node is, I have a Sag isn't meant for regular life. I know, April. And I'm saying that to your name, and I'm also saying it to the month because that's how it be. I know. No, I'm like, this all love. But that's what I mean. It's like, but it's not just me, right? And the Sag part is having to show everything. Everyone else is like, it's not supposed to just be like a regular life for anybody, for real, unless that's what you choose. And I think when it comes to the societal expectations and everything else, it's like, things are a little bit different. And part of the reason why I'm announcing, where I'm like, you want to know what? I want to do the classes because I love having community to just talk. Like, this is live. I like being able to talk. I love being able to interact. But there's other times where I really like to teach. And I feel so much better teaching when there's like actual participation. I feel so much better teaching when there's like real questions. And I miss it. I really miss it. Me taking classes made me miss teachers so bad. I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, I used to teach classes all before and before before the shutdown happened, I was actually supposed to start like teaching full classes out in LA. I was literally about to start teaching it. And it's funny that during this Mercury retrograde in my head, I'm like, I need to teach classes again. Like, you know what I'm saying? But for you, and this is why I have an Aries rising. My examples of me are trying to just open up you to being like, hey, this guy's really passionate about this. What am I that passionate about? That's what this is for. That is what this is for. That is why y'all are here. So what are you trying to put that vision towards too? Because I'm only reflecting that same type of passion that's within you. Because people that nobody finding my page, I ain't about this. Let's just be real. Like this is what this is. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for the North Node to move. Hold on. Carrie said, I'm ready for the North Node to move. I have a North Node in Taurus, and this year and a half has kicked my behind. Yup. Absolutely. And part of that has to do with the idea that it's like, well, first of all, let's break that down. The North, okay, I know what we're gonna do. Let's break down the North Node eclipse or the North Node change, and then the South Node change, right? I'm a ramble on YouTube lives. That's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna have my real class next week, probably this time, so we can really break that down. Because that makes me more comfortable. I'm still gonna be doing a live stream, readings at the end. So, but I want these to be like more chill. I think that's the vibe. Thank y'all for being here, helping administer this vibe. Because I'm like, just being able, so much love. Okay, back to it. The concept of the North Node going over into Aries. So technically the North Node moves backwards in comparison to everything else. But the North Node going into Aries, this is going to activate people's need to be themselves. And that's kind of what I was talking before about the Chat GPT thing, everything else like that. You can generate whatever, but where's that personality? You can generate whatever, but where's that identity that people can like register and feel it? And I've tested it out where I've had a caption written completely by that. And I've tested it out when I write the caption myself. And I do stuff like this all the time. I'm not gonna lie. But it's one of those things where I'm like, first of all, there's a difference. And people can feel the difference. Because people can feel the difference like, yeah, that's him. That doesn't sound like it for real. Like, oh yeah, like this is that, but like this dude's more of a goofball. Like, I don't know what's going on. That's the difference. And I like to do that because I want to show you and go through and try to go through my page and try to see which one I use what for. I'm just so curious because this is the stuff that like I have fun just exploring tools and things like that in the process. April said that yours North Node is in Aries. Perfect. The North Node, when it's in the Aries, this is all about the personality. This is all about you. This is all about what you bring to the table, uniquely to the table, that only you can bring to the table. Because you can have the same sun sign, rising sign, moon sign as somebody else, but y'all different people. And being able to utilize, and there's a difference between someone that knows how to utilize that energy and not know how to utilize that energy. And that's the shadow and the high road of what things pretty much happen on, right? But the North Node going into Aries is all about the people. However, the South Node is South Node's going into Libra. And when the South Node goes into Libra, this is about relationship dynamics. This is about the idea of what relationship constructs do you have and having to unfold what those relationship constructs mean. Are you in something that has a split system where it's like we're working together, or are you in situations where it's like one or the other? Or are you on something where something's completely one-sided? Like the concept of the South Node going into Libra is trying to remind people that we need to work together. But the only proper way to work together is if everyone is being themselves and showing up fully as themselves. And that's what the North Node of Aries is about. So this eclipse, even in Scorpio, is trying to be like, I know things hurt. I know there's been some hard times. I know things suck sometimes. Shut up. Feel it through. Not even suck it up. Feel it through. That's the soul. Lunar Eclipse in Scorpio. Feeling it through. To what? Your deepest of desires. So you can what? Feel it happening already. And then you can do what? Manifest that by probably the new moon in Taurus. So that 2-week time frame after the lunar eclipse, we're still releasing. Y'all are getting a head start. Y'all are getting a head start right now. You know what I'm saying? This is happening on May 5th. But I do want to just like really give y'all at least some of the tools and some of the available things without getting too technical. Like this is just real life. This is what's going on. So this is the energy update of that, right? Feeling things through as a Scorpio moon is what I do every day. As a matter of fact, if you make sure that you also check up on your Scorpio placement friends during this check on your Scorpio placement friends during this lunar eclipse, because the purge that's happening is kind of like everyone's like, oh, I'm releasing this. And like low-key, the first people that are going to start feeling their Scorpio placements, they're going to be like, why is people, I'm feeling all this stuff. Like people doing all this transformation and like different rebirth around me. Like, and it's really important for them to protect their energy and not to make sure that they absorb too much from other people kind of purging that out. And they're making sure that they're getting to themselves, they're getting into their own space with that, right? So now that I have feeling it now, that's what I mean. And that's why I love astrology, because it's like you literally feel the vibes. You are literally feeling all of these things. I'm not saying this out of something that's wild. It's like I looked at the math. I looked at how the stars are transmitting their literal rays onto us on a daily basis, and this is how it's going on, right? Oof, Scorpio rising, facts. But I want to say one last thing about Scorpio before I start looking at the chart and making a couple of references there. But the last thing about Scorpio that I always think about is ice. Scorpio is ice, but it also can turn into, here's my reference. Scorpio is ice that can melt and then solidify again. And that alone, that transmutation of being able to freeze, to turn to water, to freeze again, is the purpose of purging. It's the purpose of getting those things out, because you continuously solidify different versions of yourself, but Scorpio energy knows that you have to transmute it. You have to transform it. You have to keep it moving. You have to keep things going, right? We're all riding the waves with the vibrations all around us. 100%. That's really what's going on with this. Been in purge mode since the solar eclipse, to be honest. And you want to know what's funny? The purge on the solar eclipse is, once more, it's the ego, right? It's like, man, I don't think I want to do this, right? For me, and this is what I'm saying, to be real, and this is why, you know, that communication is so important. And I know you have all had these different type of thoughts yourself. I'm just trying to solidify, yes, this is what's going on. For me, the solar eclipse was like, man, all that stuff that you was talking, like, what did I want to do when I was younger? I wanted to be on YouTube. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna front. I definitely was like, oh, I want to do a YouTube and like have it really be good and everything else like that. Then I finally get the niche into astrology, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if people are gonna even like astrology. Then astrology started booming after I did something else. But while astrology was booming, I was working for this other company, being their astrologer. And I missed out's the wrong term. But this is the review. This is the Mercury retrograde review in eclipse season, reviewing your ego and the parts that were there. So it's like, maybe it was something to where if I ended up using that for myself, it'd be a different platform. However, I love the people that have cultivated it coming through, and and every time I do a reading, every time I do some of this for y'all, I learn something new. Every time there's a reading, I get something different. And that's the beauty of the back and forth between people, between these energies, and that we really all in this under the stars together. So we got to figure it out some way. Someone quote that for me, or remind me to quote that, because that's kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of heat. Or anyway, so use the water to purge, i.e. spiritual bath. Thank you, I am talented. Yes, that is really true. Water to purge during the Scorpio is so important. That shower, I suggest everybody, even leading up to it, because people talk about eclipses and it's like, when this happens, it's only on this day. It's like, nah, bro. Things literally just like, they come in those waves, and things can happen a couple of days before, things can happen a couple of days after, things can happen a couple of hours, or things can happen right on the time. But it is about timing, because astrology is all about timing. So there are some specific things that you can really pinpoint, but I don't suggest everyone live their life like that, because I think part of the living life part is living life. And when you start to calculate literally everything, you're going to drive yourself up mad. Don't do it. But do check your transits when it's time. But sometimes I think people get so involved and they're like, well, what's coming up next? What's coming up next? That they forget the soul part of like, bro, this is an experience. Feel through that. Don't try to negate that by figuring out what's next. Feel through what's going on right now. And that's honoring yourself. That's what people are talking about. Self-care. That's self-care. Not getting a beauty makeup palette, but saying self-care, babes, on it. Or like getting something else where it's like macho protein, self-care. Like, come on, bro. I'm just playing. But anyway, my son has an Aries ascendant and he wants to be a YouTuber. So let him be. Because people don't like, I know that you're definitely down to have him do that. I'm not saying that to you directly, but this is something to where it's like, people know what they want to do. People know what they want to do. I'm actually about to get tight. People know what they want to do. And we live our entire lives looking around, looking at the side of our shoulders to see like, well, do they think this is weird? Who gives a shit? Who cares? Who cares? Does it make you happy? Are you impacting anyone negatively by caring about something over there? if you are they even in the right for that, or are they hating? Because some people are just hating. Fuck. Some people just suck. And there's some people that are great. And there are people that are working on things. And they choose to continue to work on things. And some people can go from being filth to one of the dopest, nicest, open-hearted people that you know. Everyone is able and subjective to change, but what is that all about? Figuring out you. What's that North Node in Aries about? Remembering who you are. What's this lunar eclipse in Scorpio about? Purging that old BS that don't resonate with you. And what's that next thing going to be for? You actively being what you are and accepting where you at and seeing where it's supposed to be. Yeah, I'm gonna start using this YouTube to ramble transits more. I think this is dope. I like this. These are like energy updates, and then because like I love teaching, but I think classes honestly are like separate things. And I think when I know that it's a class and people are invested into the class, I get to snap. I get to go off because I'm like, oh, y'all are here because y'all want to actually learn something. Let me show you. So I'm going to be transitioning over the classes moving forward for the all of that. And it is time. Thank you, Moon Romancer. Thank you so much. See what I'm saying? It is time. Let's do it, because I've been low-key, I just shifted into my first house. I'm not gonna lie. But before that, I've been in my 12th house. I've been in my 12th house of energy for a minute, just like, what is life? You must tell them, the stars. Why? You are here to be a creative. I am. You already know that. That's why you tell everybody else to tap in their power. I do. That was the last. That was me for like the past 3 months. But now we here, and I'm here, so we're going to do this. I appreciate you all staying here when I randomly choose to do live streams and being here. Because ultimately, okay, I'm going to tell y'all part of what's happening on some real life. Because since y'all are here, and since we are about like a long time in, the idea is I have a podcast that's going to be coming up. I'm going to be planning this podcast as properly as I can. So at first I was going to rush it. I'm not going to lie. At first I was like, oh, I'm going to do the podcast today. I'm just going to start it. Then I was like, I kind of want to guest on my podcast. And I'm like, I'm going to ask everybody at the last second if they want to be on. And I'm going to be like, yes, come on to my podcast today. Then I was like, or what I can do is I can wait until it's like the proper time. And then I can really do that. You get what I'm saying? I have so much that's coming up with like ideas to implement. So if anybody has, anything that they would suggest, I'm about to come on, yo. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure you leave a like. We about to have fun. We about to have a lot of fun. I forgot what I was saying before. So make sure that y'all end up I really did forget, I'm not gonna lie. But why would I not forget? We're just having a good time. Oh, the moon's in Leo. I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is feeling good. I'm having fun with this. Then all these lovely people are here looking all pretty behind their screens, hiding from me. And that's why we're doing this Zoom class. So we're going to start doing the Zoom classes because I really do miss that interaction in between. It makes my rambling seem less rambly and more like I'm saying something important. And I am saying important stuff this whole time. I'm nice, don't get me wrong. But, Anywho, let's get into loser. We're getting into this. Oh, so let's double back on everything I said. See, I love being an astrologer, and I also love when I just like send the messages through, because then I go back and I look at the astrology and I'm like, please get a reading. This is fun. This is so fun. Regardless, getting into the lunar eclipse, one of the most important parts about this lunar eclipse in Scorpio to begin with is the fact that it is going to be opposite Uranus. It's going to be opposite Uranus. And Uranus is the great awakener. It rules electricity. It rules the shocks and the in-between. Without the innovation of Uranus, we wouldn't have any of the shit that we do. Let's be real. This is a microphone that was modeled after a classic microphone from a really long time ago. But this is the updated version and it doesn't have everything else, and I can plug it in with a USB and it works. That was impossible 50 years ago. That was impossible 50 years ago. I have this thing that sounds practically really very similar, some of the specs or whatever, but it's like, yo, who cares? It works, right? Which took me a long time to get to. I ain't gonna lie. It was definitely extra. But you know, this is just something that's so powerful coming through, because with the moon making that eclipse and that release, it's not just you releasing what your emotions are, it's you innovating based on those emotions for those 2 weeks afterward. So it's like, I know I'm not going to change how I feel here, or I know I'm in the middle of changing this part here. What am I going to do to align myself to create a new world based on how am I going? There we go. How am I going to create the proper space in my life so I can have the emotional room to make whatever I choose? So I can have the emotional peace to be in that space. Like, oh, when you have a dope space and it has dope energy and you have dope things, like, it's easier to create. It's easier to be yourself. It's easier to do that. So how are you going to be implementing that into that time? How are you going to be implementing your emotion, that water, that love? How are you going to lose that icy principle and get into being icy? Because what's cooler than being cool? Cool. All right. This is coffee in a glass, in case anyone. Pinky out to the homies. This is the intermission when I tell you that I am going to be pulling live cards for people to get you prepped a little bit early for the lunar eclipse. So this is the card pull I'm going to be doing. Is going to be from about now's time frame into the lunar eclipse, and a little bit into that. What's going to be coming up? What are the themes? How can you best prepare for the lunar eclipse's energy? I just saw it back. It's ice cold. Let me stop. But the dab is one of the most hilarious things that has happened, period. I think it's funny. Anyway, getting back into the other stuff, I appreciate y'all for just sitting and watching me ramble for like an hour. I'm like, YouTube partnership, just keep, matter of fact, everybody here, you want to do me a favor? Let's get this YouTube partnership rolling. They can start paying the boy too. It's lit. All right. Okay, let me stop being all, I'm like, well, stop being scattered. I'm like, it's literally Mercury retrograde. I'm literally up here during a freaking live stream on Mercury retrograde, expecting things to come in like standard and proper. And this is why you don't do a podcast before that. Is Mercury retrograde something to be specifically like about? No. But is it something to be mindful of? For sure. Because when let's say I'm tripping up and I'm like, instead of me freaking out and being like, oh no, I just made a mistake. How could they? Oh no. It turns into something so different. It turns into something to where it's like, man, you know, everyone's going through this right now because that's what's happening in the world. And that's how the planets want to communicate the higher messages from things that we can't fully understand that are trying to influence and help us on this planet. So weird. If only we knew a thing that could help us figure this out. Astrology couldn't be it though. Nah, someone said it was fake. I'm sure they might have been right. Are they right? No. Anyway, the idea is, but okay, I'm gonna stop talking bullshit. Let's get to the cards. We're gonna do that. Playing Jenga. I bet. Let's get it. If anyone has any questions though, feel free to drop it in the live chat. I'm gonna check that out in just a second. But I am about to pull some cards though. I want to make cool YouTube videos. That's what I want to do. They're gonna be shorter, but I want them to be cool. So make sure. Doesn't seem scattered to me. I'm a professional. Let me stop. I am though. I'm really. This is what I do. I've rambled so long. I sound like I have rambled for. This is let's get into this. I have rambled for so long that it's like, bet this is just how it goes. This is just how it is. I be making points though. I'm not gonna take it past me. Don't get me wrong. I be making dumb points. But yeah, let's do it. Much love for you all being here. Oh, I just dropped a bunch of stuff. I started talking about all these came out, and ooh. Okay, so we have cards. They all fell. I was about to like this is the reading for the collective. And all these cards done fell out. They all kind of look the same, I ain't gonna front. But they're not. Your YouTube videos are cool. I ain't even start making cool stuff yet, but I appreciate the love. That means a lot to me. Cause I have so many, I'm a Sag. I have so many other ideas that like, it's gonna be so cool. All right, anyway, let's start this off. I'm gonna do this Yu-Gi-Oh style like I got a dual deck because I wanna be extra. I'm gonna drop it though. And I place in defense mode. Thumbs up. All right, so we have the 5 of tennis balls. No, all right, I'm actually gonna stop. We have the 5 of Pentacles, right? And the 5 of Pentacles is I'm poor, I'm broke, dang, everything sucks, man, my soul is hurt, man, everything, I don't know what's going on, things are trash. That's the 5 of Pentacles. I'm not going front. The 5 of Pentacles is the shout out to you, Paula, you ain't lying. Regardless. You ain't lying. But the 5 of Pentacles though is set out for you to really start to understand and comprehend that the feeling of lack that you have isn't real. The feeling of lack that you end up like you're going through right now is literally just to show you what else you can do. So when people are feeling that lack energy, when people are like, oh, especially because we're in the middle of these eclipses, so everyone's mad insecure about something. You're like, what if I never do this? What if I can't shut? You're gonna be fine. It sucks though. I'm not gonna put it past nobody. Like it sucks, and I always suggest people to feel things through like that because that's the way that you end up like healing in real time. It's accepting that maybe things aren't that great right now, and then moving forward. Speaking of 2 of Pentacles is like, I have this dream, I have this vision, and I think I know exactly how to go about it to make it happen. I think the card order in my hand switched, but I think that's really interesting, and I'm going to read it as such because I am honoring the energies as they are. But then we have afterward the Ace of Wands, and I love the Ace of Wands because the Ace of Wands is literally like the concept of the abracadabra, this thing just changed. That's the Ace of Wands. And if the Ace of Wands is coming through, especially for y'all who are watching this is a general collective reading right now. I'm going to pull for the elements after. But for everything with the Ace of Wands specifically, this is making it so there's a whole different paradigm of what you can accomplish. And it all honestly depends on how willing you are to double down on choosing yourself. Cool. Next thing, 2 of Pentacles. Okay, I just chose myself, but I don't know what to do anymore. What you mean you don't know what to do anymore? It's like, man, I have all this power. This reminds me of freaking like, honestly reminds me of Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. For anyone who's not familiar, Dragon Ball Z, Goku, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, that guy. He had a kid. His kid was supposed to be nice. He was supposed to be so cool. And he was really cool for a minute. He saved the world. Everyone was like, can't wait for this kid to do this. And then he was like, I can either become the coolest fighter to ever exist and be able to save the world in a heartbeat, or I'm just going to become a nerd. Not even a cool nerd. I'm a nerd too, bro. He was just like, I'm going to become a goofy. I was like, bro, why you do that? And this is kind of like are you going to do this? Are you going like, am I going to go be great, or am I going to be just like chilling and just whatever? It's about being great. This is really what it is. Because once you choose that, you're going to march forward towards it. Once you choose that, you're going to start moving forward towards it. I also like how the green screen effect be like messing with the cards. It gives me joy. Regardless, he was a goofy nerd energy. Not cool. There's goofy, there's nerd. I happen to be both, but being a goofy nerd, can't do it. Anyway, couldn't Be me. Let me stop. I think that phrase is so disrespectful. Anyway, the idea though is that the Six of Wands, this is like pushing forward and making that. Oh, I know what it was. No, you're not wrong, April. You're right. That's what it was. It was because Goku ain't actually help him, but that's not important. What is important is the Page of Wands, because this is when Gohan realized, oh shoot, the dumb later on. So when Gohan finally realized, wait, maybe I should get right. And I haven't seen the current stuff, so don't judge me on that. But I did know that he got right at least for a quick minute and was able to tap back in to that fighter, to that heart, and then get something done that was really important for them. I haven't watched it through. Please, like, you don't even have to tell me, but this is just my reference for it, right? So this lunar eclipse, and let me pull one astrology card for this too. Matter of fact, I got more cards. We're gonna pull some stuff. We have the Taurus card for that, and what is happening for this Taurus on the lunar eclipse? Uranus and Taurus. This is literally trying to make a brand new. You have to re-envision how you see abundance, because I think people think abundance is like having to go so far outside yourself that you just like lose the need for this. Taurus is like, know what you want, bro, but like be patient enough to like get it. We're so impatient. The fact that we can pull everything up in just a second. The fact that I set everything out to make it as easy as possible. But then again, if something doesn't do that for me, I'll be like, man, this sucks. You know, we're in the age of convenience. So like, what can you do to make your life more convenient? And the things in your life more convenient for you. That's what this lunar eclipse is trying to show you. Happy Taurus season to the lovely Tauruses that are either watching or just in general, because Tauruses are very lovely people. I didn't always get Taurus energy, like especially growing up, but as I'm like obviously tapping into more like the wisdom, I really do understand Taurus's like background. Tauruses are just as complex as Scorpio, if not more in a lot of cases. So that complexity is really mystifying in a way that's like, what are we actually going to do? Because Taurus is about the physical. So it's like, I know that you feel all these things, but what are we really going to tangibly do about it? And that's why I'm starting to see. Communion, right? Ooh. That's kind of cool. Ooh. We making new cards, bro. Look at this. Oh. Anyway, it says Raphael, and it's for communion, right? And what I'm getting from this, in the bottom said romance, but what I'm getting from the communion is like, where do you have to set aside your pride to like really tap into the people that resonate with you? I think this upcoming time frame is like setting aside your pride to really like learn and engage with people that you know resonate with you is going to send you so much further moving on from this point. Also, let me just double check and double back. I'm gonna drop for anyone who's looking to get a reading at the end of this live stream, and please do, because it will definitely help the boy and I'll be able to do more cool stuff, which is always fun. Bang. So right now I just sent it into the live chat, but for anyone who wants to get a live reading, you can donate any amount for it, and I'm just going to do a reading for you for that process. So anything that ends up like helping with that, and it's really cool to be able to do that. So okay, YouTube lives are going to be the vibes, all talk, all this. I'm gonna have the real videos, and then I'm gonna have my real classes, and that'll be on Zoom. Look at that. Figured it out. I'm a genius. I'll probably change it by tomorrow, but here we are. But that's being honest with yourself and knowing yourself in the process. But actually I announced that I got to do it. Fine. All right. So anyway, the second part to this, and the last thing that I want to pull, I'm gonna pull one more of these, and I'm gonna get to the elements. And right after the elements, I'm going to be doing all of the tip readings. So feel free to just send them in as I go along. I'll check out the list, and then I'll start reading for y'all in that process. If you're watching it and you're just like, I'm here to just stay and watch these anyway, just know that the way that it was the Peace dealer that put it that way the first time. Shout out to Mike. But he was like, technically when you start pulling, oh, everything got weird for a second. Anyway, technically when you start pulling cards, I just looked over, it was just being weird, and I was like, but when you start pulling cards and when you start reading for that, it's technically a story. So even if you don't involve it, or even if it's for somebody else, if you kind of watch it in a certain way, it becomes like a tale for, you know, an entire thing. So look for in between, see what's in between. I'll obviously be reading for that thing in particular, but just keep that in mind in the process. Okay, so let me start going before I start doing this too long and my lives start being weird. So let's get to the first element card, right? So this is for the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. What's going to be moving forward? I'm going to pull one card for every element. Then I'm going to get into the live readings afterwards. So let's do this. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Fun fact, I don't know why this came to my mind. Actually, my teacher was a Scorpio that let me do that. Back in high school, I was in a music class. Shout out to that teacher to this day. But he basically let me teach the class sometimes because he just would just disappear. I really liked him as a teacher because he had holy water. During a retrograde, the rambles are what makes sense. You're not lying. Thank you for confirming my my ramble. But this is funny, and this is all important. I'm not saying nothing that's not important, but basically when it comes at least to what you know about Marvin Gaye, you ain't know nothing about no Marvin. What you don't know about that? Nah, but I can't get over the Gohan analogy. I'm literally him right now. Get right. Listen to Piccolo. He was right. Whatever Chi-Chi's saying, what she lying. Don't do that. And I have love for Chi-Chi and her keeping things together because Goku never did. But don't listen to Chi-Chi. Go with Piccolo. Piccolo knew what he was saying. Not the point. Regardless, right? The reason why I'm mentioning this story and why it's funny is because like he was a Scorpio, and the funniest part about him is that he had just literally like a spray bottle of water. This was totally not allowed. In general, I think it might have been violated or something. But homie had he had to stop at some point. But he had a water bottle for years, and it was just like a spray bottle, like a regular spray bottle, whatever. And it was filled with water. And this man literally took this bottle of water, put a little cross on it. It was wrote on it holy water. Older black gentleman, hilarious. And so he have kids in his class that would start to tweak out or start playing other stuff or just be mad rude. And man would just turn over, grab the spray bottle, and it literally like shoot water at them from like all the way across the room. He never like actually aimed to hit nobody. But he was just like, and I thought that was one of the funniest things because he was like, you're not being right, you're being unholy. And it was just a Scorpio literally firing holy water. That wasn't really holy water, but like literally firing holy water at people just to be like, it's a wrap. I just think that's funny. And I think it reminds me of this lunar eclipse. It's a good old memory, and hopefully you find humor in that. But how are you getting purged? How does your guides and your energy have to turn to you and just be like spray splits? I'm having fun. I appreciate y'all having this Thursday with me. All right. No, it was hilarious. I can't even like fully do it right now. I'll make a skit on it one day when I get enough. I'll make a skit on it one day. All right, so let's get into the signs though, right? Act right spray, big facts. All right, so let's get into your real get right spray, which is these cards, and your act right spray, which is your birth chart. All right, let me stop. But so this is going to be for water. So this is the signs for all the water signs. We have Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces placement, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be a general pull for you for this, right? We have the Emperor card. The Emperor. All right. So anyway, the Emperor card, though, this is going to be making sure that you step into your authority. And authority is such a cool word, low-key. And I think it's honest just because it's respect my authority. And that's what I think of, to be honest. So that's probably what it is. But the idea of like the authority is like, you know how feelings are, what emotions work and what they don't. And you might even be questioning, like, am I really able to step into this power? Am I really able to step into this? That's a great way to get this Scorpio tails plugged in your chest. Plug it in. All right, I'm sorry. But anyway, the Emperor card which ironically reminds me of that same person. Is like being able to you know, really make that happen and choose to have authority in how they feel and bringing that out. And with the Sun card that I just have here, the Sun card is trying to also show the water sign people that it's okay to have like a little bit of it's okay to identify more with your emotions than other people are, right? It's okay that you're like really feeling that, and it's literally you being able to shine that emotional pool actually is going to bring you a lot of authority in your life, and people are going to be looking out for you. So thumbs up on the video. Shout out to you, man. Much love. Oh, I just dropped stuff. Oh. Keep them on the flow. I ain't gonna lie. Nah, I can't do that. All right, cool. I picked it up. Let's get to the air signs real quick. Then afterward, I'm gonna do the live reading. So shout out to y'all for being here. Shout out to the love. And stay tuned because I'm gonna have more stuff. I've been on my clown tip recently for the videos just because I felt like doing those and it's funny. Anyway, so I didn't even look at it yet. All right, we have the Queen of Wands. And at the bottom of that, we have the Hermit card. This is for air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You've been chilling, or you've been feeling like you've been holding yourself back in something that you know you're supposed to pop off. Like you feel like you've been holding yourself back in something that you know you're supposed to be feeling through and seeing and like being able to communicate. And the Queen of Wands is telling you, give yourself the permission to be a little show offish about it. And now, granted, it's still Mercury retrograde, so don't be talking crazy. But I think in terms of like the communication, you are getting into this new space of being able to properly explain things in a way that people are going to resonate with, being able to properly explain things in a way that people are going to start to gravitate towards. And with that being said, you're going to start gaining some more power and some more traction in the things that you end up actually enjoying, the more that you're willing to speak up about them. I dropped all my cards. I'm a genius. I was talking about retrograde. Please hold. All right, cool. Now we're getting to the next part, right? And we have the 5th house for air signs. Air signs, this is your time and your excuse to find ways to have fun. This is your excuse to have as much like, you know, what entertains you, air signs. Like this is like a time for you to just like figure out what it is that you enjoy doing, right? Man, this retrograde bringing me wild. Anyway, and the last bit for air signs that I'm gonna point out, Queen of Swords. So you have the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords air. So you're really about to start kind of coming in and putting it on the table and being like, so good for y'all. Anyway, for the next side, we have earth signs, right? So for the earth signs, let's get it. Let's see what we got. Earth signs. We have the Page of Wands. At the bottom, we have the Empress. When I see the Page of Wands and the Empress together, this is like, the Empress is like some really rich mogul. And this for earth signs specifically, you're seeing this really, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, by the way. But you're seeing this really rich like mogul live their life and do their thing. And they come in contact or they're around you and you're just like, hello, ma'am, I have an idea. They're like, why are you speaking in that accent? They're like, I don't know, my fault. Anyway, so I have an idea. It's you working with the earth signs in order for you to, earth signs are working together with someone of more prominent status in order for you to figure out where to place your status. This is, and if anything else, Earth, this is you finally giving yourself the credit for the hard work that you do. This is you finally like giving yourself the credit for being like, man, I have accomplished this. Wow. And not feeling, you know, sheepish about being confident. Don't you see how the world screwed us up? Anyway, and the last thing for Earth, we have Saturn. And so Earth signs kind of like similar to what I pulled. That person that you're aiming for, that could be someone that has a lot of Saturn influence. And just to read off here, the part of you that accepts challenge to gain wisdom, right? I think that's a really good explanation on this card for this Saturn part, because when you start to challenge your own quo, you can gain wisdom by people that know more than you do or have more experience than you do, and keep it taking and keep it moving. And that's something I think is really going to benefit and help you out in that process. Anyway, for the fire signs. And like I said, for anyone who wants to get the reading at the end, make sure that you drop it now. If you don't want a reading, that's cool. I do suggest, though, at the very least, you end up signing up for either. If you sign up for a reading, I will give you my ebook for free. If you want an ebook, you could just sign up for the ebook. It's like $11. And if you end up getting the astrology transformation package for this weekend only, I will throw in the free birth chart reading for your first session and then 4 sessions afterward. You can do it in advance. And if you have any questions about that, please be sure to hit me up directly and let me know. Instagram's the best place for it, so I can fully explain it to you. But that is something that I'm offering for this weekend only for you all who are here, because I love y'all. Y'all are cool. Anyway, fire signs. All right, cool. So this is for the fire signs for the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. This is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So this is you having to low key. This is all right for fire signs. This is a reset. Fire signs are experiencing a reset, which has to do with the fact that they haven't necessarily been. I think a lot of fire signs haven't been feeling that they're living up to their potential. And this lunar eclipse in Scorpio is trying to show you that, like, you have options. Now you might be stuck on those options at the moment. And I think for a lot of fire signs, it's like, man, there's all this water energy, all this feeling. Like, what am I supposed to do with all these feelings, right? And it's like, this is a reset. This is you having to, like, really redevelop and rediscover that part of you that is passionate, that doesn't need to be poked in order to make something happen. We also have the first house. So this is happening in the house of personality. This is like resetting the stage on how you get viewed, right? For me, I like this reference is like, this is me going from, hey, I'm that crystal shop boy who also does astrology and is their astrologer now. Wow, that's so cool, to be being like, now I'm a full-time astrologer. I'm your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer. I quote, don't ask nobody else. But for real, like, it's one of those things, right? And for one last card for fire, we have the 5 of Wands. So people are going to start trying to, like, press you. People are going to start doing that because they see that you have the vision. And this is like people that are going to just start trying to, like, upset or maybe even just like try to shake things up. But it's like you being like, yo, I just went. The reason why, okay, this is better. For fire, the reason why you're going through that reset and the reason why you're figuring that out is because people are going to start trying to press. And they're going to be like, why are you doing it like that? Why are you doing it this way? Because I'm the freaking sun card, bro. Because all the wish fulfillment is right there as soon as I choose to be me. So make sure that you know that reset's coming through. Honor that reset for what it is, because it's going to prepare you for any of the BS that people are going to start trying to throw your way. And then you get to literally show up afterward and be like, oh, you thought I was feeling you? You won't munch. And that's kind of you know, not eating from. No, all right, let me stop. Shout out Ice Spice for coming through and all that. But yeah, anywho, the loser. That's from Letterkenny, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna sip my sparkling water because I'm bougie. Not playing. I mean, I am, but you know, whatever. Not the point. As you can see, this retrograde has been retrograde. Okay, so now that we have done that, please just keep this on until the end of the live stream. You can go do whatever else you want. Just keep this on so we can get some more YouTube watch time hours. It's lit. I can't wait for like me to go back to all these old videos and just make a compilation of every time I was like, I'm gonna do this, man. I'm gonna be the best. I swear I will. Just to say that I did. I'm gonna just find all of them or have someone else do it because that sounds like more fun for me. Regardless, the next thing, let me tap in and check out the live stream. We got 2 people, I think. Good for me. Good to know. All right, shout out to y'all. Let me make sure that I'm in here. But yeah, do y'all have any questions though? Does any final questions about this overall lunar eclipse of Scorpio? I really do think I'm going to have that class instead though, because like I really want to break it down from a science angle, but sometimes I just want to vibe, and this is me wanting to vibe and give y'all something to do on a Thursday night, because why not? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so now I'm in at the tips, and we have 3 people right now. Do it. So we have 3 people. Let me just double check to make sure. If not, I'll get bet. All right, so let's get going with that. Uh, now, the first one that we have is going to be for the lovely Naomi. Let's get it. So, all right, so let's get it. What we got for you? This is the Six of Pentacles. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Sun card, right? So the Sun card is trying to show you that this is like the time frame to really start to step into your light, to really step into the power that you inherently have. The Sun card is about being able to shine when other people can't. It's about being that sunspot in a room full of people that are like kind of, and I know we talked recently, and you're doing like a lot of learning and stuff like that. And the Sun card is you really actively working on and embodying the things that you're learning in real time, which is really cool, right? On top of that, the Six of Pentacles in this process is making it so you are learning the give and take of things. How much do, like, everything aside, right? How much do you invest into this and how much do you get back? If you are able to help out this person, what are you going to be getting in return? If you're able to be of service, what are they going to do that? Are you giving too much? Are you not giving enough? Are you receiving the same way that you're getting? And this is trying to have you rebalance your concept of what you find valuable. How are people going to be facilitating the energy of the value that you're able to give and that you're able to also bring to the table, right? It's kind of a cool set. I'm having fun today. Thank y'all. This is fun. The 11th house. In the 11th house, this is you trying to connect to the network. As a matter of fact, the 11th house does rule astrology. But the idea of the 11th house, I'm going to read it for you directly from the card. It says, where the cosmos grants wishes, luck, friends, and social occasions. So a lot of the difference of the energy that's coming in, leading into this lunar eclipse time frame, is having you start to connect to a larger social dynamic, having you start to connect with maybe more people through online means as well. I definitely see you maybe even starting to share some of the ideas that you have about the things that you're starting to implement just for other people, because you'd be surprised. Like every time I go on here, I'm like, I don't know who's going to be watching this, and y'all be like, thank you for changing this, you helped me so much. And I'm like, oh, for real, I have no idea. You get what I'm saying? That's my sign. Unless you feel, I can't make this up. I don't even know your chart yet. I haven't even looked at your chart yet. If you needed to know if I was nice or not, here we are. I didn't even see nothing. I don't know. Anyway, the High Priestess. Oh, let's go. And the Queen of Cups. I bet. So the Queen of Cups at the bottom, right? The Queen of Cups on the bottom is you tapping into your emotions and you tapping into the feelings and the transmutation of how that ends up going. And at the High Priestess, so you look, this is honestly wild, because the Queen of Cups and the High Priestess, I love as cards because they're all about that like feeling and knowing how to take and turn that feeling and make it into magic, making it into real time. And the High Priestess is receiving information from the universe, knowing that this is this, following the signs. Your intuition is on during this lunar eclipse time frame. And whatever that you're intuitively feeling, the more that you follow through, the easier that you tap into the emotions, and the easier that you tap into your emotions, which I'm sure it like shows up in the astrology as well. But the easier and the quicker that you are to tap into your emotions, the easier it's going to be for you to actually implement the things that you want by tapping into that passion space and really like feeling through the movements, motions, and energies that it needs in order to get it done. That was the reading for you. Now that I've done that. But for real, I hope that you enjoy it. And it's really about tapping into the feeling of everything in that process. So much love. I bet. Let's get to the next one. Ellen. What's good, homie? All right, let's get the one for Ellen. It's a fellow Sag homie, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, check out Ellen Photography. It's Ellen Hansen. She's a great photographer if you're anywhere in the world. Okay. I just dropped all your cards, Ellen. You want some BS, huh? I just dropped all your cards. There you go. I think it's like under. Drop the card again. I don't drop cards like that. I hope y'all understand. I really don't drop cards like that. I used to bartend. I used to barista. A man is good with his hands. Don't ask no questions. But I'm saying the idea. I need to stop. Why y'all here having me clown in front of y'all? This is gonna be on the internet. Why y'all like this? No, I'm playing. But honestly, the Ace of Pentacles, which is what I dropped, Ellen, this is gonna be for you. And I also literally dropped the Sun card too. So you're about to, I know we had a reading recently, Ellen. I hope you've been taking my advice, because this is literally showing you that it's like, if you put in the actual work or effort into anything right now, it's going to pop up. But you want to know what's stopping you, Ellen? You want to know what's holding you back? You want to know what's holding you back? You still thinking about 3 relationships ago. I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening there. I don't know what was going on. Yo, you have, see this? This is my favorite. See this? These are your opportunities. Matter of fact, you see this? These are these 2 cards. They're right here for you, bro. They're right here. Both of these. You're worried about stuff that don't even exist in this card pool. But genuinely, right? This is you being like, yo, I may not have had these things, but I have literally the power to manifest anything that I want, as long as I literally solidify it. I know you're a Virgo rising, so literally write down the plan. Matter of fact, Ellen, write down a 6-month plan and you'll get it done. That is what I just write it down, a 6-month plan. It could be vague, but write down a 6-month plan. That's going to really help you. And then the Sun card, the Sun card is showing like, be like, yeah, I have this 6-month plan and it's finna happen. Talk your ish. Let's use your Virgo to make sure your fire can just be fire. And you don't got to worry about that later or be nervous. Like, maybe I was too fire. I got you. You got this. Oh, one last card for you, Ellen. And that's going to be the 3rd house. Communicate, talk, flirt with people, live your best life. Go around locally. Do some stuff like that. That's literally what it says. I'm not making that up. That's not even from, you saw me pull the card. Don't play. Much love to you, though. That's the homie. I can talk-ish a little bit. Okay, cool. Let's get to the next. Let's get to the next one, though. It is loading, I think. Why you no load? Why is it being weird? It's being weird with me. Why are you being weird with me? I think the next one was my. So I'm going to read from my as the rest of them load. And if that's not the right order, whatever. All right, so the card that I have for my, let's get it. We have the Hermit card. And at the bottom of that, we have the Queen of Wands. This is you. You want to know what's funny about this? What's funny about this reading to me, or this specific, what's funny about this specific combination for me, in the way that I'm going about this, is that literally it's like, hey, I literally know my worth. I know how powerful I am. I know exactly how I can change things. And meanwhile, you like, but I'm gonna be a sleeping giant on this though. It's like, like, is this like you knowing all the answers to something, and you know that you know the right answers to something, and you're just choosing to be like, I'm gonna just sit in the background. I'm gonna lurk in the shadows a bit. it's like, I mean, then when you pop out, you're like, I'm the queen. Surprise! I always knew how to fix this. Now you're gonna give me the love because I was always there the whole time. But then here's the problem, and this card has been in this whole entire lunar eclipse thing, and honestly, and at the bottom of it, we have judgment too, which is funny. You're going to think the ego got to pick. You're going to think that your brain got to pick, and it's literally just the universe moving things out of your way so you can know what's actually up. So don't even get concerned on what are the options, as much as it is like whatever I end up going with, it's going to be that. A lot of people think that manifestation and like bridging in everything has to do with you having like a perfect alignment, or you having to have something like so perfect in a spot, and that's not what this is about at all. This is about you trusting in the process, in the sacredness of indecision, and then being able to have the universe show you when it's time. And you'll know when it's time. You'll know when you get called for it. Got you. Say less. Everybody get a reading. Get a whole reading. Man, I'm over here dropping gems on people's heads for like 3 minutes of time. Come get a reading. That's all. It's an hour. And Come on. Anyway, this one's going to be for April. Also, Olivia, I saw the I do see the reading. I keep refreshing it just to make sure no one else put one in. So no worries on that end. All right, so we have April. Get it. So for Ignore everything I just did there. Don't even pay attention to it. All right, so oh, this is I just pulled my deck from a backward angle. I've never done that. I don't want to say never, but I have not done that in a really long time, at least. That's really interesting. This is going to be the Nine of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles is trying to remind you that you is beautiful. And the idea is like the Queen of Wands, which I also got from my second ago. So these did just resurface, and just to split. Okay, let's get it. So we have my bad. We have the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Wands. And we have the King of Cups. And with the Nine of Pentacles, this is you really learning how to establish your balance. With the Queen of Wands, establishing your balance, establishing your grace. This always reminds me of like the grace of the world. The Queen of Wands is trying to be like, yo, it's okay to also be in your power. And the King of Cups shows that there's going to be some support around that as well. And if it's not a support from someone else, it's just you literally honoring the divine output of being comfortable having those emotions and making something different from that. And then with this right here, which is the Three of Wands, this is you getting ready to set out on a journey that specifically encapsulates the lessons that you learn from tapping into your emotions in that process during this lunar eclipse phase. Awesome. Rewind. Anyway, I love that pairing, the beautiful HP and Q of Cups. Can't think no more. It's cool though. I'm still doing stuff. We in intuitive mode. I don't know what I'm saying, but we doing it. All right. And then the 8th house for you, April, right? The word. So you feel like the card is your significator. Yes, 100%. And the 8th house, right? 8th house is all about rebirth. I'm gonna read it from this just to give you more perspective. This transformational area of your life that is about shared resources and intense emotions. And you want to know the most intense emotion or the intense shared resource? Emotions. The most intense shared resource is how you feel. And when you find, and that's why the King of Cups is there, because I think the King of Cups is going to help you develop and bring in that rebirth towards that specifically. That's so cool. Dope. Good for you. That's cool. I'm happy for you. That's dope. All right. So we have April, and now we have one for Olivia. Right. And I'm going to do it one more time. Last call. It's my last refresh before I'm like, man, I gotta go take a nap. I'm not actually gonna take a nap. So anyway, so for Olivia, thank you all for being here. Thank you for hitting the like button. Please make sure that you share this with somebody. Rewatch some of the other stuff, because I still have the video I have on Mercury retrograde. I have the video on the 2 eclipses in a retrograde, and that's going to be breaking down a lot of this information too. But right, Olivia, I just pulled backward. What is going on? What am I doing? Oh, okay. I put other cards in backwards. So I'm like, how am I pulling backwards? That's wild. All right. Olivia, you got some haters on the block, bro. I ain't going to front with you. You got some haters. And these haters, this is you getting the hater blocker on. This is you being like, oh, you all know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of like a lifeguard. This is a perfect analogy. I got you. This reminds me of a lifeguard at a pool. And all these damn kids are trying to get in the pool, and the pool closed because they're cleaning it. And everyone's trying to get in the pool. They're like, but it's pool time. It says it's pool time. And it's just you there being like, no, get away. And they're like, but we got to get in the pool. And you're like, you're not getting in this pool. There is stuff happening that has nobody in it. You can't be in it. Like, this is you like really being able to step up and getting ready to stop that, right? I got you, April. No worries. Much love. And the moon card underneath here, right? The moon card underneath here is like, I just finished watching Atlanta, and I do suggest you do watch Atlanta, at least an episode from it, because there's a certain surreal element that pops in, where it's just like, is this real? Is this really going on? And I'm not gonna give away anything, but it's kind of like, is this all real type of deal? And I think the moon specific. Oh. I got you. On the actual lunar eclipse is when you're going to have to defend off those people from the pool. And you know that you're right. And it's okay if people are getting a little bit prickly, like you know what you know for that reason. And justice will be served to those who do not follow. I accidentally had my middle finger up when I did that too. So justice will be served. Justice will be served to these haters. So make sure that you defend the pool. And then they gonna be hating, they're gonna be salty, they're not gonna have it. You good. Don't even worry about it. All right, and then one more thing. It's a real life for me. You feel it? Anyway, last card for you. We have Uranus. So it's gonna come through really fast. So like I said, it's like gonna be just random kids being like, we all get in the pool now. Stop. That's the energy. Perfect. And I'm gonna do one more refresh just to make sure none of you people have been like, hey, you people, you lovely, beautiful astrology nerds and people who like watching me talk for a long time. I appreciate you all for being here. I'd like to thank the Academy for being the best astrologer of all time. And I am glad that people know astrology is real, and I'm just so happy to help transform the collective. And I couldn't have done it without the stars. I am a star. All right, I'm done being weird. I'm not done being weird, but I'm almost done being weird on camera. So anyway, I'm a star. Oh, I just got an idea for. All right, I'm sorry. I just got an idea, but much love, yo. 100%. Regardless, that has been overall, at least this is the vibe check though. This is a good vibe for the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. And I'm actually going to be announcing, make sure you watch my stories. I'm working on doing a newsletter too. I hate the concept of it, but I do want to make sure that y'all get that direct. But I'm going to be I'm going to have the live stream so people can just check the live stream. Then I'm going to have the classes. So moving forward, specifically on the new moon, it's going to be like the classes, they're going to be the vibe, and then moving in Gemini season is going to be the podcast. So we're giving you the content that y'all need. I'm still going to be doing short form stuff too. So just check it out. Make sure that you share it, and let's really get this moving. Let's get people on this collective wave and really understand all that. Specifically men. If you know any of the men in your life that need some like astrology help and something like that, I think I'm a really good in between point to do that, because I think like a lot of men really do believe in astrology, but it's been used against them preemptively, and they haven't been able to like know why or recover why. And then if they look at it and they learn later and they're like, oh yeah, maybe I wouldn't have been a right fit for them with that. It really does help though. And you know, I think astrology definitely can help with the mental health of everyone, honestly. At least you'll be able to see your soul and be like, man, maybe I'm built like this because of that. Not the point. They don't show it. No, they know. They know. Cause they know, because when they talk to me, they tell me they know it's. But to y'all, they're going to be like, no, it's not it, bro. And as soon as they talk to me, they're like, yeah, you know, it's because I'm an Aries, man. And like, I got to do this. And I'm like, just say you don't want to learn, bro. Just say you don't want to learn. There's not, you know, it's, come on. Anyway, before I start, I started rambling 81 minutes ago. But before I start rambling to the point that it doesn't make sense for anyone, including myself anymore, I will bid you all adieu. Much love to you all. Thank you all for showing up. And I really do appreciate it. Being an astrologer is cool. And just having these people pop up, these lovely people, just come on YouTube on their Thursday to do this. It's lovely. Okay, I'm going to go and do something else with my time. And get ready. I have readings all weekend, though. I'm doing readings all weekend. So if you want a reading this weekend, make sure that you tap in on my website or just hit me up and we'll figure something out. Much love to you all. Lovely people. Stay beautiful. Lucky stars. Whatever you want to call yourself. Call yourself your real name. Whatever that happens to be. Yeah, I really...